This is Mauricio Ruffy, and he has the chance to become the UFC's lightweight champion by the end of 2026. Ruffy is a lethal striker. With pinpoint accuracy and deadly power in his hands, he has drawn comparisons to Conor McGregor even from his first UFC fight. His spinning heel kick finish over King Green at UFC 313 is easily my frontrunner for knockout of the year so far. Already 3-0 in the UFC, it's clear that the promotion wants to push him as a star. How could you not think that when the first 3 fights of his career have come on pay-per-views? UFC 301, UFC 309, and UFC 313. One of the more deserving fighters in the lightweight division to earn a shot at the rankings, today we're going to build a road to gold for Mauricio Ruffy, showing a path with who he fights and when he will fight them in order to touch the lightweight belt. We're going to first give him the man he asked for in his post-fight speech at UFC 313, Beneil Dariush. Some people, like the MMA guru, have already mentioned that this would be the perfect fight for UFC's International Fight Week in June. This could be on the prelims or even open up the main card of UFC 317. Beneil was supposed to fight Moicano earlier this year, but when Arman pulled out the day of the fight and they needed an emergency opponent, Beneil got left without Moicano, and he still ended up getting paid his show and win bonus. I'm not saying that Moicano would have beaten him, but getting his win bonus without having to fight the guy is a pretty good deal. So when the UFC scratches your back, you're going to have to help them out a little bit too. So expect Dariush to take on the newcomer and see if he has what it takes to make it into the top 10 of the lightweight division. If he's able to get past Beneil, then he'll be 100% deserving of another push up the rankings, where we give him Dan Hooker at UFC 323, the final pay-per-view of the year in 2025. In what could easily be a Barnburner featured fight of a pay-per-view, news came out last week that Dan Hooker is going to need a second surgery on his hand. He said it was nothing major, but it's still going to prevent him from fighting anytime this summer. So if he's going to look to get a fight in before the end of the year, Ruffy could be the perfect dance partner if he doesn't sustain any injuries from Beneil at UFC 317. This matchup has Fight of the Year written all over it. This would easily be Mauricio Ruffy's toughest test of his entire career. And I'm not saying it's one that he has a good chance to win, but if he does, he will be right around the top 5, and you will have to reward him with not only one of the biggest fighters in the division, but one of the biggest fighters in the entire UFC, Max Blessed Holloway. Already scheduled to face Dustin in the main event of UFC 318 later this year, I expect Holloway to win that fight and retain his BMF belt, his top 4 spot in the UFC's lightweight rankings, but I don't think he comes out of that fight unscathed. I mean, he's fighting in Dustin's hometown. He knows it's his retirement fight. There's no doubt in my mind that Poirier throws the kitchen sink at Holloway and gives it everything he has without caring of any broken bones, how he gets injured, or what happens to him until after the fight. If that's the case, then Holloway's going to need some time off. So 9 months and UFC 327 in April 2026 is a perfect date to match up these top 5 lightweights. I guess if it's for the BMF belt, you could make this headline a pay-per-view, but I think this would be a perfect co-main 5-round fight to fight for the BMF belt and for who will get the next shot to challenge for lightweight gold. If Ruffy is able to get past Dariush, Hooker, and Holloway, he will be 6-0 in the UFC, undoubtedly one of the company's biggest stars, and be deserving of a title shot against Ilia at UFC 332 in September 2026. After confirming last week that he will be headlining UFC 317, we know that Ilia has a chance to fight for the lightweight belt. Who he's fighting yet is something we don't know, but if he ends up getting that belt, I would expect him to have one more title defense before September 2026. If the UFC continues their tradition of hosting a Noche UFC in September, what could possibly be a better main event? We know the UFC doesn't typically hold fights that are over the lightweight weight class during the UFC Noche fight nights, and Ilia already has the Spanish background to appeal to that audience. So if he's able to complete the road to gold, my prediction is that Mauricio Ruffy will win the belt at the lightweight weight class at UFC 332 in September 2026. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of Ruffy, whether you think he's able to compete in any of these matchups, and whether you think he'll be able to touch UFC gold one day. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok, where I post the Barnburner Gazette every week to highlight the upcoming fight night, and like and subscribe to see more videos in the future. I hope you have a great rest of your day.